Russia is warning of a dangerous escalation. At the G20 ministerial in New York, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov claimed the West had crossed a line. He said NATO and the European Union had already declared a real war against Moscow and were directly involved in the Ukraine conflict.
Another clear example is the crisis in Ukraine, provoked by the West, which NATO and the European Union want to announce. They have already announced a real war in my country and are directly involved in it.
Lavrov lashed out at what he called neo-colonial ambitions, one-sided sanctions and tariff wars. He claimed Western policies were fragmenting global markets, fueling instability, and sparking regional conflicts from Africa to the Middle East. He accused NATO of turning the Ukraine crisis into an existential confrontation.
In turn, one-sided economic sanctions, roughly violating the UN Charter, and tariff wars, direct blackmail of international trade participants, not only hit the most vulnerable, unprotected layers of the population, but also pose a serious threat to the world economy, including by fragmenting markets and disrupting supply chains.
Hours later, NATO's Secretary-General Mark Rutte stood before American cadets at West Point and delivered a blunt warning. He said the alliance was shifting from air policing to air defense after Russian drone incursions into Poland. He made clear NATO is now prepared to take down Russian aircraft and drones if necessary.
Eastern Century brings together everything we do in terms of air policing along all the 8 eastern flank countries. And basically we want to go from air policing to air defense, including taking the lessons from Ukraine on how to deal with drone incursions. Because here a Dutch F-35 took down a drone, a couple of drones, using missiles which cost you $500,000 to $1 million. And of course that's not sustainable.
Rutte also revealed that NATO has already routed $2 billion worth of US equipment to Ukraine, paid for by allies. He praised Trump's leadership for forcing Europeans to commit 5% of their GDP to defense, but he was equally blunt about Russia's battlefield losses.
I'm not overwhelmed by Russia's impact on Ukraine, but at the same time, if you have a guy in the Kremlin willing to sacrifice 1 million people, can you imagine the numbers? Just to get those few square kilometers / square miles? Well, we cannot be naive. We have to defend ourselves. And he might also try something against NATO.
While NATO hardens its posture, Belarus is openly moving Russian missiles closer to the front line. Speaking in Moscow, President Alexander Lukashenko confirmed that the Oreshnik medium-range ballistic system is already on its way to Belarus.
Has the Oreshnik arrived yet? It's already on the way. Everything will be okay.
At the same time, Lukashenko pitched himself as a voice of restraint. He strongly endorsed President Putin's proposal to extend the New START nuclear treaty by 1 year, warning that failure to do so would push the world to the brink of global war.
No matter how much we talk about the various conflicts here and how bad they are with people dying and so on, if we don't solve the problem regarding the New START treaty, God forbid, it will be a disaster. At this moment, Russia is reaching out to everyone with an offer to negotiate. If you can't do it today, let's extend the treaty for a year and reach an agreement. I was therefore very pleased to hear this proposal from Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, and I fully support it. It pushes back the prospect of a global war.
But Lukashenko's final message was aimed not at Moscow or Brussels, but at Donald Trump. He called Trump a rebel and revolutionary, praising his family values, and urged him to back Russia's arms control proposal. With Lavrov declaring war already underway, Rutte signaling readiness to shoot Russian planes down, and Belarus deploying nuclear-capable missiles, the question now looms, is a full-blown Russia-NATO war imminent?